Hi, welcome back. This is episode 2, and today I have a few announcements. One of them is there's a new song out. The name of it is In God We Still Trust, and it's just beautiful. So if you go, it's a country western song, and if you go to YouTube, you can hear it there. Number 2, we have a contest going on, and the contest is there are several things that are different in this presentation that weren't in the other presentation. So see if you can figure out which ones or what has changed. Okay, we're going to the first poem, and I'm redoing coronavirus because it's still here. The year is 2020. The world is in despair. It seems a deadly virus is traveling everywhere. It's called coronavirus and proving very deadly. They say it's a pandemic and moving very steadily. They're closing all the schools with hopes the kids won't get it. And as for senior citizens, they hope you won't forget it. But if you need some groceries, just call a friend or two. I'm sure they will be happy to get some food for you. So stay at home, wash your hands, try not to touch your face, and pray for all those working at a very steady pace. For now, we need to stick together, pray to God all day, and maybe in a week or two, it all will go away. Now, I have to redo that last line, and maybe in a month or two, it all will go away. It has turned out to be a little more deadly than we thought. Okay, the first poem, that's not a repeat. The name of this poem is How's Your Credit? Holy cow, I'm almost broke. What am I going to do? Have to buy some food and pay the rent. It's almost due. Payday is a week away. I'll get it in the mail. Wish I hadn't bought that new TV that was on sale. Oh well, I'll just have to use that Visa card they sent. I can charge the food and maybe I can pay the rent. Then I need to pay it back. The minimum is best. I'll just have to put it on the pile with all the rest. Guess the time has come for me to try and find a job. Or maybe I can find a grocery store that I can rob. But if I get caught, they'll probably send me off to jail. I can't think of anyone who'd help me with the bail. In jail, I'd have my food and no more rent I'd have to pay. I'd even have a bed and bath and 3 square meals a day. Guess I've solved my problem. I'll just rob that grocery store. Then I won't have to face my money problems anymore. Do you think that's a solution? Okay, next we come up with, this is a silly poem, and it's called Myrtle the Turtle. My friend bought a turtle. She nicknamed her Myrtle and kept her right next to her bed. She seemed very happy, but looked kind of crappy. At least that's what Helen had said. But Myrtle did thrive, and she stayed alive, and Helen had fed her quite well. She fed her some bugs she found in her rugs, and funny thing, they didn't smell. And Helen was glad and never was mad, but one thing that just made her scream was Myrtle's hard shell. Then she thought, oh well, I'll soften it up with some cream. It happened so quickly, poor Myrtle got sickly, and Helen got very excited. She called up a vet, someone she had met, and told her that she'd be delighted if she could bring Myrtle, her favorite turtle, and have her examined today. The doctor said, sure, come in the back door. I'll treat her. I'll test her. Will that be okay? So then Helen hurried. She was very worried. She thought she heard poor Myrtle crying. She picked her up gently, got into her Bentley, and knew that poor Myrtle was dying. She drove like a racer. The cops didn't chase her. She even went through a red light. She checked on poor Myrtle, her wonderful turtle, but Myrtle had died from the fright. And the moral of the story is, if you find a turtle, do not name it Myrtle, and let it live out in the yard. 'Cause turtles need space and don't like to race, and they need a shell that is hard. So all of Helen's efforts were in vain. Ooh, the next one's a long one, kind of a deep one too. The name of it is Fear and Courage. Okay, and it goes like this. What are you afraid of, or have you outgrown fear? I think it all depends on age and varies by the year. When you were young, did you wake up because you had a dream? Did you watch horror movies, and did you ever scream? Were you afraid that monsters would attack you in your sleep? Imagination takes control and sometimes makes you weep. But pulling the covers over your head would make it go away. Then you could go to sleep and live to see another day. Girls enjoy the scariness a lot more than the boys. Boys are so much braver, they're not afraid of noise. Girls like feeling helpless. It's just the way girls are. Boys are much more macho and creepier by far. Sorry, boys. Then, when boys get older, they suddenly are men. They get much more reckless. They up their game again. But girls aren't big on dangerous. They turn the other way. They don't want to take a chance. Just live another day. And guys are so courageous. They jump from planes for fun. They need to feel protective. They love to shoot a gun. Girls are sometimes daring. They even dye their hair. They're not afraid of looking different. Really, they don't care. Sometimes girls do really different things because they can. They're needing some attention, probably from a man. And guys are good at getting noticed, mostly for their might. I remember in the 50s, they just loved to fight. Riding motorcycles 90 miles an hour or so. Guys can do that all day long. I bet their butts get sore. There's another reason guys are braver and here's a clue. Men, with all their daring, just love protecting you. All of this was in God's plan. He needed to make men. We have fought a lot of wars, and they were needed then. This is my perspective. Take it for what it's worth. But thank you, Lord, for putting men and women on this earth. Now, I have a postscript on this because I started going in a different direction, so it's kind of my postscript. Not to change the subject, but my brain has gone astray. I have having thoughts of fear a very different way. Through our lives, we all have fears of many different kinds. Some have fears of heights or planes. A lot are in our minds. But there's another kind of fear, and this one's in our head. The fear of doing something wrong, like something you have said. I don't think that anyone deliberately is mean, but sometimes we say stupid things, which could create a scene. And when we say these stupid things, we just don't think ahead. But we must make that judgment and hold our tongues instead. There is another fear that you may find applies to you, the fear of looking foolish, of trying something new. Oh no, I cannot do that. My kids will think I'm nuts. They will think I'm crazy and I haven't got the guts. But if you have a passion for something you must do, then you must be courageous and simply follow through. But if it's something that you think will maybe bring some good, don't hesitate, procrastinate, or worry if you should. If you're not hurting anyone and you can muddle through it, just find the courage, jump right in, and go ahead and do it. The reason that I wrote this poem was twofold, and here's why. I hope you find the courage for anything you try. I think the words will resonate and maybe set you free. I really had to write this poem for you and also me. Okay, thank you very much. That is episode 2, and we're going to say goodbye right now. Remember the contest and call me. Okay, bye bye.